Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. Now, something old, something new is how that phrase or old saying starts, and that's exactly what we got for you today. Enjoy. Something old, these old leeks, it's time for them to come up. I just want to try and loosen them in the soil first and see if I can hand pull them rather than dig them, which normally means I'll end up digging them. So the last of these, they're actually starting to go to seed, some of them. Like this one here, that's going off to seed, so it's time for them to come up. Get the last of these up, get them home to the kitchen and get them processed. So these were all multi-sown in modules last year. This time last year they were being planted. Long season for these. Yeah, lovely leeks. That's almost like a pot leek, that one. Right, so I'll carry on with them. So there we go, all the leeks harvested. Nice little harvest there. Very pleased with them. They just want cleaning up, ready for kitchen use. And the bed just wants a little tickle over with the claw, and that's ready for planting, that bit. Champion. So among other things in the little polytunnel here, I've got some of these. These are multi-sown leeks, Blue, de Soleil, Musselburgh. And the same in this at the back. These were individually planted, station sown as they call it. A little bit of weed in there, but these I'm hoping to trench in this year, do it the traditional way. But these ones getting planted now. I'm just giving this bed a quick tickle over with the claw, because I'm going to get this planted. And I'm putting leeks down here. This is the wettest bed on this plot. It's right down the bottom of the hill, and I think it's best for leeks, and whatever space is left, which will be about half to a third, will be where my celeriac goes. For the same reason, they're both moisture loving plants. Had a bit of a couch grass invasion down the other end, so I've had to do a bit of excavating down there. Get rid of that. I'll have to keep my eye on that through the season. So this is a no dig bed, but you know, sometimes you do have to dig. You have to dig things out at times, especially with pernicious weed like couch grass. And while I haven't got the rest of the area around it fully covered and sorted out, it's just going to be one of those things I'll have to do. I'll just get it roughly level, then we'll get the grid and get planting some leeks. The leeks I'm putting in, I've got two varieties, and the multi-sown. And two beds up at the end over there. I don't know if you can see them on camera. They were multi-sown leeks from last year. That's the last of them. There we go. I think that'll do. That'll be ready. So I'm putting some more leeks in this bed, and I filmed the bit of me getting this bed ready 2 days ago. Unfortunately, we had to go to the hospital yesterday. Don't worry, everything's fine. Everything's in hand. But anyway, I missed a day yesterday, and the day before I couldn't quite get these planted out. So anyway, we're back to doing it now. So this has all been tickled over and raked. and I've got my trusty grid on here, and I've put some holes in so I know where to plant these multi-zone leek plug plants. This just keeps things straight and organised. And I've been asked about this, and I've been asked, why don't you put the holes and take this away? Well, I can do, but for the ease of use and so people can see it on the video, I'll leave the grid down. It's a 3-inch grid. The squares are 3 inches, so yeah, and most of the seedlings that I'm putting in go through easy enough. And if the plants are too big to put in those holes and they'll get caught up in that as I lift it, then obviously I won't use I'll take the grid away first. So planting couldn't be easier. Just a case of pull the plugs out, put them in the hole. Don't need to backfill the holes. Mother Nature will do that for you with rain and or watering. And these are mostly Musselburgh. There's some Bleu de Soleil in here as well. And this is basically all you need to do. It is too easy. Just drop them in the hole. This is essentially what you do with leeks anyway. When you're trenching them in, you just drop them in a hole and water them in. Fill the hole up with water. As you see, very quickly, these will get away, get planted. And then I'll just move the grid on to get the next lots done. So there we go, that's 25 multi-zone leeks in there. Doesn't get any easier than that. Lift them up, no problem with the plants, then you just move it on. There we go, ready to rock and roll for the next set. So this was the something new. Right, something old. Many of you will have seen this tool before. This is my what I call the claw. It's actually a 5-tine or 5-prong cultivator. That's its correct title, I think. But yeah, I use that just to tickle through the beds, just to rough it up, disturb any weed seedlings and get the soil ready for planting. And this is a brilliant tool. Now the only issue with this one is this tine here. Because it's so old, it's been overworked, and if I use this on heavy soil where I'm having to really pull and push with it, this will bend out. Not a problem, just push it back in like that and it's fairly easily done. But it's got a wide gape as well. Anyway, I was on eBay about a week and a half ago and I spotted another one of these for sale. This one that I bought. Now this is a much narrower gauge, as you can see from that. I've got a better chance of getting in between some of my plants if I need to, and feels a lot stronger, so I'm hoping this isn't going to bend out. So yeah, I bought that, and the reason I bought it, because I obviously don't need it, but I've got it now. It cost me £5. Nobody bid on it. Now these normally sell anywhere between 20 and 30 quid a go without a handle, so nobody bid on it. The last minute I put a bid on for it. In fact, I'd actually offered him some money when I first saw it. I offered him twice what I paid for it and he refused it, he declined. I made him 3 offers and he declined all 3, and then eventually I bought it for a £5, so very pleased about that. So one will stay at home, one will stay down the plot. Probably this one will stay down here. We'll see. We'll get a handle on it and we'll get it used. So that's the old. And new, I've always put stuff in little baskets like this, trugs, buckets to take up home. And you can see what the problem is with this. Eventually they do break quite quickly, to be honest, as well. You know, if you've got a tray of beetroot there and you pick it up, it will break. And I've never really found putting things in buckets helps, because you put them in a car, you start to drive off home and they fall over. So I've been lusting after something for years that my granddad used to have one. In fact, he had several of them for different things. And I've had a number of them over the years, but cheaper ones, cheaper made ones. And even one I made myself, which was okay, but it eventually rotted. But I've treated myself. I figured I'm down here every day. Why not? And I've bought myself a fancy little trug. They're not cheap, but it's going to come in handy. Be handy for walking off around the plot. Just sit it on the floor, put whatever produce in you want to take home. So I can take a couple of days' meals home in that, or, you know, nice big bunch of flowers, whatever. So very pleased with that. As I say, it's a treat. They are very expensive. Oh yeah, very happy about that, and that should last for years. That's the something new. And I haven't got something borrowed or something blue, so there's no wedding, sorry about that. So I'm going to take some of these wallflowers up today. I'm just going to cut some of these off and put them in a bucket of water. These aren't anywhere near the size they should be, or would normally be. They're still welcome. I'll just have to use a smaller vase, and as the saying goes, or went the last time I did this, it was making little vases of happy. So I think next year I'll be growing these undercover again. They did much better, because at the end of the day it is a crop that I want. So very quickly, just from a couple of plants here, I've already got a little vase. I'll just make it worthwhile, and I could take them home, trim them up and do whatever I need to do with them. So this here is my honesty bed. They were sown about this time last year, maybe more like June, between June and July, and then planted out in August, and they grew up over the winter. We've got this now, all these flowers and side shoots. And as I say, it's called honesty. And normally what happens is that when these flowers go over, you get the seed heads, and they're about this sort of size. The little seed pods, and they're round and flat and papery, and they're lovely for flower arranging or for dried flower arrangements over the winter, and that's chiefly why I grow them. But I'm not going to pass up an opportunity like this with flowers on. I won't take them all. I will just take a few, leaving the side shoots behind, and that will just get planted with those wallflowers, just to bulk them out a bit, really, and to enjoy these flowers as well. So they're good sized plants, these, and very soon I'll be sowing some more, so I'll just add that to the mix. Right, so there we go, pretty as a picture. I've just had Terry from the next plot come up and have a word with me, because he was putting some trimmings in one of those Dalek compost bins, and he said he saw a snake on the top. It was actually a slow worm. We've seen it, but unfortunately it was too quick, couldn't get to film it, but might see it again. But it's just nice to know that they're here on this site, and Terry's of the same sort of mind as me, of encouraging the wildlife to control the predators, to get that balance, to get that nice organic balance if you can on a plot. And you know, I mean, he's put a pond in the same. He put one in last year. I've put one in end of last year into this year. But it's just good to know that they're there. I also know there are smooth lizards on this site as well, which are another, again, a reptile, but you know, it's just nice to know that this stuff's here. So anyway, as I say, missed that. I ran down with my camera and we just saw the tail of it disappearing when he next took the lid off. But I think it had already been disturbed. So we're not going to chase after it and try and get photographs of it. We'll just let it be, let it get on with it. But that's it for today. As I say, something old, something new, bit of a theme going. I hope you've enjoyed it. Look after yourselves and please stay safe. It's still out there, this pandemic, so be careful out there, and see you all very soon. Ta-ra now.